Everyone, today I am playing with a little ladybug because I want to make a card with a little ladybug on it, and I thought this might be fun. So some of the supplies I'm using is my Artisto pads. These are 140-pound cold press. I love them. This one says spring. I'm going to be starting another one that says summer. I love to catalog these, and I think they're a great beginner student grade little paper to paint on. They've got great texture. Yes, if you can afford Winsor or paper, by all means use that. For my daily painting and how much I paint, I love these. They're also perforated, so you can just tear them out. So I'll put the link down below for you. Normally I use my MeiLiang paints, which is that student grade paint. Can't recommend enough. This palette's only like $17. I just bought myself a new one, but so many beautiful colors, really reasonable. The colors are beautiful and creamy. They're transparent. I just love them. If you know, when I went to college, they had us buy Winsor Newton. So that's what I've got here. I just pulled this out. Normally I use my MeiLiangs for every day, but I pulled these out of a box and cleaned up my palette and thought, you know, I'm going to splurge a little and I'm going to use those today. So this is their 45 set. And I just drew out a little ladybug here because I think they're so adorable and make such cute cards. So what I'm going to do, and by the way, this is an 8 long round. This is one of the brushes I designed coming out next month. And for one, look at that color, you guys. As you know, that's my favorite color. And I love the long round. So hopefully those will be released next month. I've got my wash and rinse water in my ceramic Meeden water well. And my paper towel here to dab my brush off with, but I'm going to be working really wet here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go ahead and go in here and dampen the red shell part of this little girl. And I think the color I'm going to use from the Winsor Newton palette, actually it's in the MeiLiang as well, is like a rose red. For them, it's Permanent Rose in Winsor Newton. Here's the Permanent Rose, but if you're using the MeiLiang, you could use that rose red, which is beautiful. Same type of color. Let me show you. This one here. So to me, they're very similar. So anyway, I'm just getting this damp. I'm using the tip of my brush, anchoring the side of my hand on my paper and holding my brush down a little bit farther so that I have more control. And I don't want this to be puddly. I just want it to be shiny. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's just shiny. And then I'm going to go in, and this is where the fun really is I'm going to go in and let's grab, make sure I got the right one here. Yeah. Grab, I'm not as familiar with this palette because it's not what I've been using, that Permanent Rose, and just look at how pretty. Start touching in, and I'm just going to I'm going around the little black dots there and let it start moving around, blending on its own. I'm going to add in a tiny bit more water, so I rinse my brush, tap it off. Because again, I don't want puddles. I just want a nice shine here. So I like to refer to it as I paint damp and damp for beginners. I think that's a lot easier. But look at how pretty that is already. Let's go in and add in a tiny bit more, and I'm just going to darken it up. So going in. I'm not making this a solid color though. So as you see, I'm letting the water move it around because I don't want the whole thing to be the exact same lightness or darkness. I want it to be interesting. So there we go. You can always, I'm rinsing my brush, drop in some other water in there, like little drops of water, and it'll create some really fun little organic type of effects. And as it dries, I'll just keep adding in. I really want to have fun with this little girl. There you go. So look how fun that shell is. And then I'll go in later as it keeps drying and we can add in more. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do his body. So again, I'll go in and wet the body part. Now I'm going to stay away from this red area because it's still wet. And again, I'm just dampening the area. I'm not making any puddles in there. He's got kind of a crazy little face. And then I go in and I'm going to use lamp black in Winsor Newton. You could just use your regular black or even Prussian blue in your MeiLiang. And start tapping in. Don't want to get into that red. I'm leaving some little light white eyes in there as white space. There we go. And actually I did touch in just a bit to that red. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that, but look how cute she is. I might just define a few areas. Tapping in. Now again, if you want it to be a little bit more blended, just get your brush a bit wet, tap it off, and go drop some wet water in there and it'll really make it blend. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to do the little foot here and the feet here. So going into my paint, always going in not with the point down. We want to protect that tip. And just light pressure, point, press, point, press. There we go, just some little legs. Point, opening up that belly of the brush by applying a little more pressure, and now just the tip of the brush. I'm going to be real careful here so I don't touch that red paint. So I'm using very little pressure here, just resting the side of my hand on my paper and using those little dab motions. If I want a thicker brush stroke, I'm going to press down more. Point, press down, open up that belly, and come out just like that. And then some little antennae here. And there we go, we're almost done. And what a cute card, right? I'm going to go in and just add in, let's try and see maybe some of that alizarin crimson. So that would be this one here. Actually, I think it's this one. Just to add in a tiny bit of red. I want to get this to dry so I can add in my black dots. Yeah, I like that. Kind of darkening this edge and making that look like it's a little bit shinier on top. There we go. Isn't she cute? What a fun little card. There we go. And I did leave that white space in there. A lot of times I think it's more interesting. So what I'll do here again is I'm going to go in, use my little dryer. This is just a little $15 gadget called a heat gun. Just going to let that dry this a bit. There we go. So sorry, I've been on YouTube here a year, still don't know how to really edit, so you can just fast forward through this if you like. There we go. You could even put some little grass, or you could do splatters in the background, something like that. I'm going to wait for that to dry just a minute. And we can go in and do the little yellow dots in there. I'm leaving a little bit of white space around because I don't want that black to totally flood into that wet paint. So just creating these fun little dots on this little girl, like so. And using different values, so some of these dots are a little bit darker in value, meaning there's more pigment than water. Because that's really the beauty of watercolors, is its ability to have that transparency and almost like that unevenness. Here I'm just lifting a little bit. I think it's so much more interesting than just a flat color, is to have some of that, some areas light like this, some areas darker. And there you go, I'm about done. You could do some splatters on here. You could do maybe some fun leaves on here. You could add in a flower. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and do some little splattering, because I'm painting really simple. And there you go. Now, if you really want to give it a little touch of something, you could do two things. I like to use my Ohuhu fine liners and just draw some little details. You could even play with your mirror series and add on some sparkle there, which I'm kind of shocked I'm not doing that. And let's go around. I like to be a little bit imperfect when I use my pen and ink. This is how I enjoy. Oops, see, I stuck my hand in there, so make sure that's dry. And I'll draw this out and put it in my community post. So if you want this picture, there we go. Look how cute she is. And there you go, just a fun little 4th of July, summer. I've been getting lots of ladybugs in my backyard. And how fun and easy is that? So I hope you give this a try. And I will link all my, my art supplies down below. I'll dig up those links for you. And I will put the link to my brushes, hopefully coming out next month. Can't wait to share them with you. And thank you everybody for being a part of my little community here, having so much fun. Happy painting.